You're in the middle of something you actually enjoy. Maybe it's your favorite series on Netflix, the one you've already seen before, but still feels safe. Maybe it's a book on a rainy afternoon, the sound of pages turning mixing with the weather outside. Maybe you're scrolling slowly, not aimlessly, just letting your mind drift. Maybe you're holding a warm cup of coffee, watching the sky change colour as the sun rises, realising you don't feel like going out today. And then your phone rings. A plan, a commitment, something you said yes to days ago when your energy felt different. You hesitate before answering, and then you hear it. Hey, so the plan got cancelled. There's a pause, and then something happens inside you that you don't say out loud. Relief, not excitement, not joy exactly. Relief. Your shoulders drop, your breathing slows, your body relaxes back into the space it already felt safe in. If you've ever felt that, welcome. Today we're talking about the psychology of people who love staying at home. The people society calls boring, antisocial, unmotivated, but psychology calls something else entirely. Let's start with the misunderstanding. People assume that those who prefer staying home are avoiding life, that they're afraid of something, that they lack ambition, that they're wasting time. But that assumption is built on a very loud bias. A bias that says, life only counts if it happens outside. Connection only counts if it's visible. Happiness only counts if it's photographed. And for some people, that simply isn't true. Here's the first psychological truth. Not everyone is wired to thrive in stimulation. Some nervous systems come alive in noise, movement, crowds, unpredictability. Others do the opposite. Psychologists call this optimal arousal. Every human has a window where they feel balanced. Too little stimulation and they feel bored. Too much and they feel overwhelmed. People who love staying home often have a lower stimulation threshold. It doesn't mean they're fragile. It means their nervous system is efficient. Every conversation costs energy. Every social interaction, even pleasant ones, requires processing, tone, expression, timing, emotional regulation. Home removes that tax. Home is not where they hide. Home is where their nervous system finally rests. Think about what going out really requires. Getting ready. Choosing clothes that feel acceptable. Managing small talk. Navigating noise, crowds, expectations. Being perceived. Even when it's fun, it's work. For some people, the work is energizing. For others, it's draining. Staying home isn't laziness, it's energy management. There's another layer beneath this, control. Out in the world, there is simply too much happening at once. Noise overlapping noise, people talking over each other, schedules shifting, expectations changing mid-conversation. You move through crowds where you have to adjust constantly. Lower your voice, match someone else's energy, laugh at the right moment, respond in a way that's acceptable to the person in front of you. You're not just existing out there, you're adapting. Every interaction requires awareness. Every environment demands a version of you that fits, and that takes energy. At home, that stops. At home, nothing is asking you to perform. You decide when the lights are on or off. You decide how loud the room is. You decide whether there is music, silence, or nothing at all. You decide when the day starts and when it slows down. Even the smallest choices matter. For someone with anxiety, high sensitivity, or emotional depth, this kind of control isn't indulgent. It's stabilizing. Because when the environment is predictable, the nervous system doesn't stay alert. It doesn't brace. It doesn't scan for the next demand. Home becomes the one place where your body understands nothing is about to interrupt you. This is why so many people who love staying home develop rituals, not because they're rigid, not because they fear change, but because routine creates safety. The same mug every morning, the same seat on the couch, the same quiet hour where no one needs anything from you. Maybe it's working on a painting a little each day, not to finish it quickly, but to slowly improve. To notice how your hand moves differently than yesterday. Maybe it's tending to your plants, watering them, watching small signs of growth, proof that consistency matters more than urgency. Maybe it's organizing your room, not for perfection but to create order, to make the space reflect how you want to feel. To outsiders, this looks repetitive, but psychologically, it's regulation. Routine sends a clear message to the brain. You're safe, nothing unexpected is coming. And when the brain feels safe, it does something powerful. It wanders, it creates, it reflects. This is where ideas form. This is where emotions settle instead of pile up. This is where the mind finally has space to breathe. Staying home isn't about doing less. It's about doing things at a pace your nervous system can actually sustain. Here's something research consistently shows. People who enjoy solitude tend to score higher in creativity, introspection, emotional awareness, problem solving. Staying home isn't doing nothing. It's where internal worlds get built. Ideas don't usually arrive in crowded rooms. They arrive in stillness, in quiet moments, in the absence of interruption. But society doesn't reward that. Society rewards visibility, being seen out, being busy, being involved. So people who love staying home grow up thinking something is wrong with them. They try to force themselves into louder lives. They overextend socially. They ignore their limits, and eventually, something clicks. They don't feel fulfilled out there. They feel depleted, and slowly, quietly, they begin choosing home. For many, this choice comes after disappointment, a friendship that demanded too much, a workplace that drained them, a relationship where they had to perform instead of exist. Home becomes the place where they don't have to explain themselves, where exhaustion is allowed, where silence isn't awkward, where no one asks, "Why are you so quiet?" There's an important distinction here. Solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is the absence of connection. Solitude is the presence of self. People who love staying home often have strong self-companionship. They don't fear their own thoughts. They don't run from their emotions. They can sit with themselves without distraction. That is not emptiness. That is psychological maturity. But let's be honest, not all staying home is peaceful. Sometimes home becomes a refuge because the world once hurt too much. A betrayal, a period of burnout, a season of grief, a time when everything felt too loud, too demanding. In those moments, staying home is protective. And that's not weakness, that's recovery. The key question isn't where you are, it's why. Do you stay home because it nourishes you, or because leaving feels unbearable? One is rest, the other is avoidance. Both deserve compassion. But they're not the same. People who genuinely love staying home often share another trait. They feel deeply. Noise doesn't just register as sound, it registers emotionally. Crowds don't just feel busy, they feel invasive. Small talk doesn't feel light, it feels hollow. So they conserve their emotional energy for things that matter. A few close relationships, a meaningful conversation, a project they care about. They don't scatter themselves, they invest. This is why they're often misunderstood. They don't show up everywhere. They don't say yes to everything. They don't chase attention. But when they care fully. If you're in their life, you matter. They notice details others miss. Shifts in tone, silences, unspoken emotions. Because when you live quietly, observation sharpens. There's also creativity here. People who love staying home often turn routine into ritual. Cooking becomes grounding. Gaming becomes immersive. Reading becomes travel. Music becomes emotional regulation. They don't need novelty to feel alive. Depth is enough. And then there's the judgment. You're missing out. You should go out more. Don't you get bored? These comments sting because they imply deficiency, as if joy only exists in crowds. But history doesn't support that. Some of the most influential thinkers, artists, and innovators lived largely inside rooms. They weren't avoiding life, they were refining it. Let's talk about identity. People who love staying home often carry the nurturer archetype inward. They care for their space, their routines, their inner world. They build environments that support their mental health. That takes self-knowledge. Most people never learn what drains them. These people do, early. There's also trust here. They don't open easily, not because they're cold, but because they're porous. They feel things intensely, so they choose carefully who gets access. Once you're in, though, they're loyal, steady, present, consistent. They don't disappear emotionally, even if they disappear physically. Home is also where they don't perform. No masks, no social calibration, no pretending to be louder, happier, tougher. Just being. That's rare in a world that rewards performance. Here's something quiet but important. People who love staying home often don't lack ambition. Their ambition is internal. They want meaning, alignment, work that reflects who they are. They don't dream of applause, they dream of coherence. One person who truly understands them means more than a room full of strangers. Now let me talk directly to you. If you felt relief when that plan got cancelled, if your body softened when you realised you could stay in, if your favourite days are unstructured, quiet, familiar, there is nothing wrong with you. You are not antisocial. You are not wasting life. You are not behind. You are building a life that doesn't exhaust you. Staying home doesn't mean you don't love people. It means you love yourself enough to protect your energy. It doesn't mean you don't care about the world. It means you engage with it intentionally. And one day, when the timing is right, when the invitation feels aligned instead of obligatory, when your energy says yes instead of forcing it, you will go out. Not because you should, but because you want to. And it will feel good. Until then, drink your coffee slowly, rewatch your comfort show, read the same book again, sit with your thoughts without rushing to escape them. You are not hiding, you are resting, reflecting, becoming, because the people who love staying home, they listen deeply, they feel carefully, they love quietly, and somehow they make the world feel calmer just by existing in it. If you stayed with me this long, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And if this felt like it was describing you, you're not alone, and you were never broken. Sometimes the most alive people are the ones you don't see outside. Sometimes home isn't a place you go. It's who you are when you finally stop performing.